Welcome to Bohemia Buds. In this video, we're going to talk about germination. So I'm going to try to germinate 3 seeds. And in order to do that, I need to create the ideal environment for the seeds to think, now it's time to wake up and grow into a plant. So the basic setup, on the floor, we've got a heating pad. And then we have underneath here, 3 little seed starters. I like these because once the seed germinates, you can then just take the whole thing and put it into the pot without worrying too much about disturbing the roots, and then they just grow through into the mud. So we're going to have these. So they've been soaking for a couple of days just to expand. They start off like little discs. And then we've got temperature and humidity meter. We're currently at 25.3 degrees C and 46 humidity. The humidity is a little bit lower than I want right now, but we're just going to try anyway. And the dome helps to maintain the humidity, because as the water evaporates, you can see condensation on the inside. It rains down a little bit to keep them wet. So what we're trying to do is stimulate the conditions of springtime. The seed, when it's in its original form, it's sleeping. You can see these seeds, they're very small. So right now they're asleep, and they'll stay like this for years, decades even. If you keep them in good conditions, these seeds will just wait for the right time. And the right time is when they get the humidity and the temperature that says to them, okay, this environment is safe to start growing. So they start to absorb the moisture. They start to sample the atmosphere. Is there oxygen present? Is it warm? Is it humid? Do I have a safe environment where I can grow? Is there light in this environment? Is it warm enough? Is it humid? So we've got this homemade setup in winter because there's no way they would germinate outside. So all you need to do is put your seed in the middle, poke it down a little bit, and then you want to cover the top. Just poke it down inside, cover the top, and we're going to try to keep them moist for as long as it takes, basically, to get them to germinate. So we're going to cover them completely. So they're just about 5 millimeters down, and then we're going to get one more. So where I live, I'm allowed to have 3 plants, so I'm going to try to germinate 3 seeds. If one of them doesn't work, then I can always add more seeds later. So let's get this one out. I'm going to save this seed for later. Okay. There's 100 different ways to germinate a seed. This is not the only way. This is the way that I've found to be successful for me, but everyone has their own ways of doing things. This is not exactly how to do it the only way. This is just a way. You may find something works better for you. So now they've got the 3 seeds in their new home. So we've got a nice temperature now, which is not reading the correct temperature. So let me just show you in here. This is the probe. This probe measures the temperature and the humidity. So that's why I have this little sieve, so I can have this hanging just above where the seeds are to get a more accurate reading of the seed's environment. And then I put this plastic dome over the top so that it can maintain the moisture level. Now, light is important when the plant is growing, but light is also important to, in this situation being in winter, give it a little bit of bonus heating, because at the moment it's just got all the heat from underneath, and this is not very warm, but it just adds that little bit extra light. So I'm going to keep this on most of the time. I'm probably going to leave it on all the time at the moment until the seeds actually start to sprout out and grow their first leaves. So right now we're just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to top up the water every few hours because it evaporates fairly quickly. I don't want to keep them soaking wet, but they need to be slightly damp. and they need to maintain reasonably stable temperature and humidity. If it's going to be a little bit lower than the suggested humidity, then it's not too, I don't think it's too much of a problem, but we'll see. At 54% right now and 24 degrees, that's a good starting point. And we'll close this tent up and leave it for a few hours and see how the temperatures and humidity stabilize over the next few hours. And then it could take 2 days, it could take 7 days, who knows. Seeds are temperamental. They sometimes will germinate, sometimes they won't. So we're just going to try to give them their best chance, and then we'll come back and see what happens. So at the moment, these look like they're going to be warm enough and humid enough. So if you want to see them germinate and move on to the next stage of the process where we transplant the babies into their pots ready for growing, I've got this big pot at the back here ready for planting as soon as we've got some seeds germinated. So if you want to see the next video, subscribe, and we'll hopefully in 2 or 3 days have some sprouts. I'll keep you up to date with some short videos as they grow. So stay tuned and let's see if we can make some magic.